So you water a totally pristine fern, and literally overnight, a neon yellow mushroom just sprouts right out of the dirt.
Yeah, it completely feels like a glitch in the matrix.
Right. It really does. So today we're doing a deep dive into the sources on the Flowerpot Parasol. That's Leucocoprinus birnbaumii.
And it turns out this common annoyance is actually waging like microscopic chemical warfare right there in your living room.
Which is wild, because it's easy to just see a weed, right? But these sources reveal a total masterclass in survival. Like, to figure out how it seemingly materializes out of thin air, you really have to look at the soil itself.
Oh, absolutely, because it's not actually coming from nowhere. I mean, it survives droughts using these structures called sclerotia.
Right, the sclerotia.
Yeah, they're these tiny, hard, yellowish-white masses in the dirt.
And they are incredibly small, barely half a millimeter wide.
Exactly. They basically function as armored seeds. I mean, they are highly resistant to drying out and even resist most commercial fungicides.
Wow. So they can just lay dormant in dry potting soil for years, totally invisible.
Yeah, and the moment you give that houseplant a really good soak and the humidity spikes, they just activate.
So they really are just fungal sleeper agents,
Yeah.
just biding their time until you get a little too generous with the watering can.
That is the perfect way to put it. And while they don't actually hurt your houseplants, they are a massive headache for the commercial orchid industry.
Oh, I can totally imagine.
Because orchids are usually grown in clear plastic pots, right? And the sclerotia cluster really heavily against the plastic.
Which ruins the whole visual aesthetic for buyers.
Right, but more importantly, those physical masses actually alter how the soil retains water. Like they can completely block drainage.
That is wild. But, surviving a drought doesn't help much if a fungus gnat eats you while you're dormant.
No, it really doesn't.
Which brings up something I was wondering about from the sources. Producing complex chemicals takes a massive amount of cellular energy.
Well, absolutely.
So why would a tiny mushroom waste calories building vibrant yellow toxins just to sit harmlessly in your orchid pot?
Well, it's all about defense, and the chemistry here is incredibly sophisticated.
Right, because that yellow color comes from two compounds called birnbaumins.
Yeah, birnbaumins A and B. And they contain this very specific chemical ring structure, an N-hydroxyoxyamine group.
Which normally in biochemistry is highly reactive,
Yeah.
right? And inherently toxic.
Exactly. Usually it would just destroy the organism producing it.
Like carrying around a live grenade.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. But this fungus figured out a way to safely stabilize that reactive group within its own tissues.
So it basically locks the pin in place.
Right. Until a curious pet or like an insect tries to digest it.
At which point it causes severe gastric ulcers.
Yep. It's an absolutely ingenious defense mechanism. And, it doesn't stop at defending against predators either.
Right, we have to talk about the chemical weeding.
Oh, the chemical weeding is amazing. The mushroom actively pumps these specific antimicrobial fatty acids right into the surrounding dirt,
So they act like a targeted antibiotic.
literally dissolving the cell walls of competing soil bacteria.
Wow. Just to ensure the mushroom has all the soil's nutrients exclusively to itself.
Precisely.
I mean, this is an incredibly advanced genetic toolkit for something just living in a plastic pot.
It is, but it makes total sense when you look at the evolutionary history.
Right, because this whole system, the sleeper agents, the chemical grenades, the targeted antibiotics, it didn't evolve for our living rooms.
Not at all. It traces back 66 million years.
Right, to the original inventors of agriculture, the leafcutter ants.
Yeah, the Atini tribe. For millions of years, they've been cultivating a domesticated cousin of our houseplant mushroom.
Leucocoprinus gungulaphorus.
Exactly. And that cousin is an obligate mutualist, meaning it relies entirely on the ants to feed and groom it.
But wait, why this specific family of fungi? Like, what made the ants choose to domesticate them millions of years ago?
It all comes down to metabolic plasticity. I mean, these fungi have the rare genetic ability to break down extremely tough, complex plant polymers.
Oh, because the ants can't digest leaves on their own.
Right. So they feed the leaves to the fungus, and then the fungus breaks them down into edible food for the ants.
That is so cool. And the wild mushroom sitting on your windowsill shares that exact same ancestral ability to digest almost anything it encounters in the soil.
Exactly. It's perfectly adapted.
It really is fascinating. I mean, that little yellow mushroom is a chemically armed, drought-resistant survivor with a 66-million-year-old evolutionary pedigree.
Adapted to dominate whatever small patch of soil it finds itself in.
Truly. But there's one last thing from the sources that was just mind-blowing.
Oh, the carbon sequestration idea?
Yeah. The fact that this indestructible little houseplant intruder might actually have a role to play in our future.
It's brilliant. Some recent research points out that these abundantly produced sclerotia could theoretically be used to sequester carbon.
So we might eventually use this fungus to turn waste plant material into tiny rot-resistant particles.
Yeah, to actually help mitigate climate change.
That is wild. From an ancient agricultural crop to a stubborn houseplant intruder and potentially a climate solution.
Definitely something for you to ponder the next time you water your plants and see a flash of yellow in the dirt.